Hey guys, and welcome to Jenkins 31, and here I am back today with Josh, and we are starting up the mini-series Top 10 Position right now. Today is going to be the right fielders. We're going to go from 10 to 1. Brief explanation, nothing too long, because we've had a couple 30-minute videos, and I don't really want that. So Josh, why don't you go, actually we didn't really work that out. Do we want to do like your 10, my 10, or do we want to go 10 through 1, 10 through 1?
No, my 10, your 10.
Alright.
And then my 9, your 9.
Alright.
I like that.
Guess first.
You want me to go first?
You are the guest.
All right. Thank you so much for allowing me to come back on this great show again. I'll take number 10, Hunter Pence. Hunter Pence likes mustard on his hot dogs.
Wait.
I just love all the signs for Hunter Pence that the fans bring out, so I have to include him on the list somewhere.
All right, you just threw a complete curveball at me. Considering what you told me before we started this. All right.
I just wanted to, I wanted to mess with you a little bit.
Anyway, real quick, an honorable mention I have. He just missed the list. Is actually Nick Markakis. I know a lot of you guys are probably like, wait, what? Why is he even in consideration? His offense isn't, great, but his defense is pretty solid.
Yeah, I really love his defense.
So, all right, my number 10, believe it or not, is also Hunter Pence. The reason I have him as low as I do on my top 10 is he's been really injury prone the last couple of years. And he's not the Hunter Pence he used to be. I don't see him progressing, improving much more. He is getting up there in age. So, Hunter Pence is down at number 10. Number 9?
All right, well, since I missed my honorable mention, and you did mention Nick Markakis, my honorable mention is actually Josh Reddick, Carrot Top. I know that's a little bit out there a little bit, and he probably could be top 10 this year. I'd put him at number 11. He just missed mine. I love his game, though. He is a really great player, and he, of course, played on the A's, so I got to give him some love. Number 9, I actually have Nick Markakis. Nick Markakis, for the reasons you just mentioned. Love his defense. Offense is going to go up a little bit this year. I think he just beats out Hunter Pence. That's just my opinion.
Okay, that's beyond ironic. My honorable mention was your number 9. Your honorable mention is my number 9. My number 9, Josh Reddick. This Josh said, he plays a hell of a game. He's been nothing but great for when he's healthy, for whatever team he plays
Very
for.
pesky.
Yes. I love that Carrot Top. But yeah, Josh Reddick is my number 9. I've always been a fan of his, even when he was on the rival Red Sox. I've always been a fan of Josh Reddick's.
Were you a fan of him when he was on the A's?
He's mainly been on the A's, so of course.
All right, great.
Number 8, let's go.
All right, I got Yasiel Puig. Mostly for his speed around base paths. He can steal one base in one series, and then he can go off and steal third base in the same exact time frame. Love that about his game. His offense is going to start picking up. He just needs to stop missing balls in the sun.
Hashtag Jonas Cespedes. Anyway. Finally, a difference somewhere. My number 8, he plays for the Chicago Cubs, Jason Hayward. Where do I begin with Jason Hayward?
This is complicated, so
yeah.
I guess got to start somewhere.
He's fallen off for sure. His offense was definitely lackluster. His defense wasn't the greatest. However, he got things going, late September and into the playoffs. In the playoffs, he definitely struggled, especially in the early rounds. I think he had, 3 hits and 17 at-bats or something?
Yeah, and then he got benched.
Right. He got benched, came back, and was, one of the top, I'd say, 3 or 4 players in the World Series. Like, he, more so for his defense and his offense, and that's what he's always been, was more his defense. He's never been the greatest offensive producer, but his defensive runs saved is definitely up there compared to other right fielders between the National League and the American League, really. So.
Yeah, for sure. I guess you don't have his WAR number, huh?
Not handy, no.
Okay. My number 7 is actually Jason Hayward. I think his defense is going to pick back up. I think his offense is also going to pick up a little bit too. It's not going to be nearly as terrible as it was in the playoffs and going 3 for 17 or whatever you just spouted off with, because that's not the Jason Hayward they signed for that long-term contract. So, yeah, I definitely don't think he's going to be struggling as bad.
All right, my number 7 is currently a free agent. In his rookie season, he played for 3 or 4 different teams, and after that, he's been on the same team ever since. And his rookie season was 13 years ago. That is none other than Jose Bautista. A lot of people who don't follow baseball like regularly knows him probably for the bat flip in the playoffs of 2015. But his offense has definitely declined. He's arguably going to be a designated hitter with a team he signs for if it's in the American League. He is getting up there in age. His defense isn't the greatest. His offense is still amazing. He can hit bombs when he needs to. I definitely think he'll be seeing a lot more time at the DH role if he signs in the American League. Jose Bautista, number 7.
I actually got number 6 as Mark Trumbo. Yeah, I know he hit 47 home runs. He had 157 hits, and he probably could be a little bit higher. But I'm going to be a little cautious on this one because he's probably the sexier pick to be in the top 3 or 4. But I want to see more out of Trumbo before I actually put all my faith and trust in him. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but I want to see a little bit more before I start making him higher in my predictions.
My number 6 is someone who you may or may not expect to be this low, or, depending on your view, this high. Maybe you're like, wait, why is this person higher than Jose Bautista? Why is this person higher than Josh Reddick? Well, that's stretching it a little bit. He actually was teammates with Josh Reddick. Got sent down to the minors a little bit this year for some off the field issues, more so off the field issues that caused on the field issues. Definitely has had some issues with partying and stuff. He's like the Johnny Manziel of baseball, and that's Yasiel Puig. Yes, Yasiel Puig is not the hero that everyone thought he was going to be when he came up to the majors. Everyone thought he was going to be the next like Barry Bonds per se. He hasn't been all that. He's kind of been like the unsung hero in a way. His defense is pretty good. His offense is again lackluster. Most of my guys I have ranked based off of their defense, and their offense is just a bonus. But his defense is definitely what got him to number 6 on my list. Number 6, Yasiel Puig.
All right. Just a second here.
I say, what are you doing? All I hear is thud, thud, thud.
You hear thuds?
Yeah. Are you tapping your screen or something?
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I'm just trying to pull up one stat here, okay?
You're fine.
Oh, it's not going to let me see it, so forget it. But number 5 I got is Gregory Blanco of the Giants. This one may come as somewhat of a surprise to some people. He did have 22 home runs last season, and his batting average was .258. He did get 136 hits, though. I don't know. I have him ahead of, Trumbo, and that might be kind of surprising, especially since he's more field 47 home runs. But, I just like his game. He's a lot of very pesky, in tight situations. He seems to always get the job done, so that's why I have him ahead.
All right. Well, my number 5 is actually your number 6, Mark Trumbo. Mark Trumbo is another free agent. Led, I believe, the major leagues in home runs last year. So this is like one of those instances. I can't talk. One of those situations where I was saying that offense is definitely a bonus, but this is more based off of defense because we are talking about right field. We're not talking about what they can do at the plate. But Mark Trumbo is definitely a pretty good right fielder. I believe he actually he did play right field, but I'm pretty sure he had a decent amount of time at DH this year as well. But Mark Trumbo, like you said, is definitely like the sexier pick for a top 3. Obviously, I don't have him in my top 3, but Mark Trumbo is definitely up there on my top 10. I could not leave him off this list, and number 5 was where I saw fit for Mark Trumbo.
All right, number 4 I have is Jose Bautista. And I do know his offense is declining. He hit, 18 less home runs, but he also played in 37 less games. He also had only 69 RBIs compared to last year where he had 2015 where he had 114. 37 games is not going to make up the entire difference for that. I understand that. But like I was getting along with Mark Trumbo, I'll put a lot more trust in Bautista. If he stays healthy, I think he's going to do his bat flip a lot, and I think he's going to hit more home runs this year than he did last year. I think his offense is actually going to go up a little bit, not decline, because you see guys going into their 40s still hitting the ball pretty well. So I'll put my faith back in Bautista, thinking that his offense is going to rise up to the occasion.
All right, my number 4 is my last American League player, and quite arguably, depending on where they sign, one of only 2. He almost won the MVP this year. Honestly, in my opinion, I think he should have. He set many feats this year. Like I think the most 3 home run games in a season. A lot of RBIs, hell of an on base percentage, and that is Red Sox right fielder Mookie Betts. I mean, just for the reasons I said alone, yes, I was saying more his offense, but his defense is just spectacular. He's truly amazing. He's living up to the hype, living up to his potential. There is no ceiling for him. The sky is the ceiling. Mookie Betts, number 4. There's not much more I need to say on that.
My number 3 is Mookie Betts, and I agree that he should have won the MVP last season. His WAR was an outstanding 9.6. You don't see that too often. Absolutely dominant outfielder in defense. His offense is not far behind. Let's see. Yeah, 214 hits last season to go along with everything you just said. I think we have a pretty good understanding of who's going to be 1 and 2 on our lists, but Mookie Betts, if he goes off again this year, it'll be hard not to put him in 1 or 2.
And refresh my memory real quick. Who is your number 5?
My number 5 is Polanco.
Okay. Well, my number 3 is Gregory Polanco. Polanco has been arguably one of the best offensive and defensive players for Pittsburgh, especially in the last couple of years. He's been arguably their best outfielder. McCutchen, he's not the all-star he was a couple years ago. He's definitely declining. He's coming into the tail end of his prime. Starling Marte is doing pretty good, but, still tailing behind the other two. Gregory Polanco has just been absolutely amazing. I mean, I'm surprised this kid hasn't had more all-star appearances than he's had. I'm pretty sure he's only had one. Gregory Polanco is definitely going places. He will be MVP within the next 4 years. I'm calling it here right now. Gregory Polanco, NL MVP in the next 4 years.
You heard it here first on Jenkins Productions.
Jenkins 31. Hasn't been Jenkins Productions in a long time.
My bad.
Hence the J31.
True story. All right. I've got number 2 is Giancarlo Stanton. His WAR is 2.6. He was not an NL All-Star last year either. Let's see. He also hit the same amount of home runs as he did in 2015 with a lot more games, about 35 more games also. So even though he was hurt in 2015, he still hit 27, and then he came back last year and hit 27 also. However, he has a lot more talent than Mookie Betts at this point, although Mookie Betts can certainly change that this season, of course. But if Giancarlo Stanton doesn't start batting 260 again like he did in 2015, he's not going to be in no top 2 anytime soon. He's definitely got to turn it around.
My number 2 is also Giancarlo Stanton, and I'm pretty sure we have the same number 1 at this rate. But Giancarlo Stanton, he was on pace to break the Marlins home run record back in 2015 before he got pegged in the face late August, early September.
I think that's what really changed him, too.
I do, too. His face, his cheeks swelled up to the size of a freaking baseball. It looked like he had put the baseball in his mouth and just left it there.
And base guard like Hayward.
Like Hayward, like Dansby Swanson, like freaking some guy in the Yankees who I can't think of off the top of my head. Anyway, but Giancarlo Stanton he's definitely worth, at least for now, there's not a guarantee, he's definitely worth that, what was it, 13 years, $325 million contract?
Yep.
So
Marlins found money like they always do.
Mm-hmm. But it's sad because they did the same thing with Jose Fernandez, and then tragedy struck.
Yeah.
But update on that really quick. I know it has nothing to do with this video, but oh well. Drugs and alcohol were found in the biopsy.
Yeah, that makes me really sad every time I hear about that.
Yeah. Anyway, all right, we're pushing on 20 minutes. Number 1. Let me take a wild guess on who your number 1 is. Go for it.
No, you said you were going to take a guess, so what's your guess?
It's a matter of expression. Just go.
All right, I've got Nick Markakis as number 1. Great player.
Wait, what?
What?
Markakis was your number 9.
Well, you can be number 1 and number 9.
Jeff, who was your real number 1, smartass?
Bryce Harper. I've got Bryce Harper, the kid. He's betting on himself again this year for $12.5 million, I think it was, for 1 year to avoid arbitration. I think he's going to go off, and he's going to sign a $300 million contract at the end of this season. Book it.
There's no reason that Bryce Harper shouldn't be named the unanimous number 1 right fielder in all of baseball right now. I mean,
Yeah, it's not really close.
he's going off. I mean, he's hitting the offensive numbers. He's hitting the defensive numbers. I mean, his runs saved, I believe, is the highest in the National League East.
Sure is.
Now,
That's what Jim Stanton too.
I'm not gonna lie. I almost put Stanton as my number one, but then I think about the fact that in 35 more games, which equates to roughly 110-ish more at bats,
Mm-hmm.
he hit the same amount of home runs. So that shows that Stanton's actually declining just a little bit.
Yeah, and that's what kind of concerned me a little bit. If he actually put up better home run numbers, better RBIs, he actually did have I think it was 15 more RBIs but his batting average was down 20 points too. So that's a pretty big concern right there. And like I said, I just think Bryce Harper's going absolutely AWOL this season. He's going to just tear that baseball up, especially when he knows he's got 1 year to prove himself for $300 million.
Yeah, and you know damn well he's going to do it, providing he doesn't get injured, knock on wood. Because he's going to be needed in the Bronx come 2018, just saying.
Hey now. I ain't
Anyway.
about no yank.
Alright, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed our top 10 right fielders. Next up will be... I don't even know. Let's go third baseman. Top 10 third baseman.
All right.
So we will see you guys
Chris
the next
Bryant.
day or so with our top 10 third baseman. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I'll be talking to you guys later. Peace out.